thought I'd talk just a little bit and show off a few of the lamps that I've made out of junk bicycle parts. This little guy's called Lightheaded, and he's made out of bike forks for his arms, legs. His feet are pedals. His hands are made from dinner forks. Body's a fender. And then obviously the bicycle headlight for his head. This is actually a jack shaft, or it's not called a jack shaft, jockey sprocket is what it's called in cycling, and a spoke. And the center of his body is actually a head tube that I've just cut down. His neckline are head tube and handlebar nuts just kind of stacked on top of each other, and then there's a head tube lock washer on him as well. And a fender reflector thrown in the middle for good measure. I made a couple of fidget spinners out of bike chain and a skateboard bearing. It's not an original idea, I stole it off of a guy on YouTube. These are really fun, kids really like them. And they've got a nice weight to them. They're literally zip ties, a little bit of chain, and a skateboard bearing. This one is called Fender Bender. And it's just a bicycle fender with an Edison bulb in it. This is a Volkswagen pulley that goes on the alternator or generator, and then the fender stays are supporting it. So that's that guy. This is a bicycle, child bicycle, cut up obviously, and I took the front wheel and cut the spokes off of it as a hard tired wheel to give it some weight up here, and then took the pedals out of the center crank, turned them so they're facing each other. One doesn't actually have a pedal on it, it's just the shaft, and just tack welded those on the bottom so it has a side to side support. And this was actually a Dollar Tree lamp, and it was a complete circle. And I have cut that off to just kind of add some interest, and then just kind of photinaed the shade and the piece that goes down into there to just give it some interest. This we call Fork in the Roll, and it is a bicycle fork, obviously with the toilet paper roll on it, and just a big weighted pulley essentially. And so the really nice thing about this particular pulley, I've made a couple of these, this one's actually threaded, so I didn't have to weld the bike fork to it, and I was able to use the head tube or the washer that's on the bike, the threaded portion of it, and thread that down really tight and then run in that lock screw. And so this one actually isn't welded at all. I may regret that. And then I got this little guy, which is the peddler. A little bicycle light with a pedal on it, with a little bracket that's just tack welded on the, sorry about that, just tack welded on the back. And then I had to kind of grind this area and this back area flat so it would actually sit on a surface. And it just has a Christmas bulb in it, so it's not very much wattage or amperage pulling off of that. This one obviously a set of handlebars with a derailleur system set up on there. Some weird sort of light I picked up at a garage sale or something. And the only thing I wish I could have made work was the switch on top, but it is a click switch. So there's that one. And I think this one's called like Handle It. Yeah, Handle It. This one I wanted a different bulb for this. I wanted one that has the mirrored end on it. However, I couldn't find one that was the right size for it, so I just went ahead and left that in there. This does pivot to any direction you want it. It's just in a head tube piece. Bent the pedal with heat. Still attached to the sprocket. So that's what that one looks like. The wiring just runs out the back where the axle would go through. So I'm pretty happy with how that one turned out. So got one more in here. That's a lamp. Set it up if I can get it out of there. destroying it. Oh. And this one's probably the most fragile of the lamps I made. Get it to sit on the truck bed. Uneven surface. Yeah, wheel that back around there. Let's see here. Put the bulb on for full effect, or the shade on rather. This is the lampshade I made for it. And I'm going to hold on to this because I don't want it to fall off. It's made out of fender stays, both the round skinny kind and the fat concave convex kind, just welded together. And once that screw is on top, it actually sits pretty straight. And I just used inner tube, riveted that around evenly, or relatively evenly. And sometimes they get kind of funky and spread out when we travel with it. I had this at work for a while and decided to try and sell it at the last show. And then I've just run the cord for it up the back tube by just cutting a hole in it. And I need to kind of work that up a little bit further, it looks like. But there's that one. And let me turn you off and turn you right back on just for a second. Put that away. I failed to mention this was a pump from my grandpa's stash, and it was just a Kmart pump, and I riveted this head badge to it. And it's a kind of an oxymoron pump. The rear tire is a hard side tire, so you'll never have to air it up. Put with the pump, so kind of added that element of haha. And we are getting a pretty good storm rolling in here. Winds are picking up. I want to talk a little bit about these. These are called the Picnics, the bike picnic box, if you will. It just goes into the frame of your bicycle. You can put a thermos or a bottle of wine or whatever you want in there. These are napkins. And the hinge just drops down and makes a little table here. And these are just jars with the lids screwed into the top. I used the other one at the show for a vase, so I need to clean it out and put it back in here. But these will store food as well. So the napkins and the little tablecloth all fold up into that little box. And I probably won't be able to do this one-handed, so let's see here. Cable goes in like that. The strap comes over like that and straps, and it fits into the frame really nicely. That lamp this one here, where I photined and cut the kid's bicycle up. The other side of that bicycle made a nice little seat for your seater. And just heated there in the middle and bent that out, and then bent the drops out a little bit. And this was actually the seat that was on that little bicycle. And I also made a big child size one. It's pretty comfortable. And I just pretty much left it like it was, welded a square tube or an angle on the back, and kind of slapped some paint on it. That was a close color. And this bike here is what's left of the big blue kick bike that's in the background there. And I also made a few bike bags. Pretty simple design on this. It's just essentially a brad that goes through the leather and has a little bead on the end. So then you just cut a slit in your leather. So just a simple, slim, streamlined bike bag. No pockets, no nothing. Clips on the bike the same way. So I made a couple of holes here, and then on the back side it just has a couple of different sizes to go over the frame. Nice thing about this is it's pretty sleek when you ride. It's as long as you don't pack it too full, it doesn't get in the way. So that's the design on that. And I really like this bag a lot. If you make it out of the right leather, it has enough strength to actually hold its shape, but yet it's not super bulky. Let's see, what else have we got? I know there's something I'm forgetting. Oh, my free stuff I got. That's what I'm forgetting. And I apologize, it may be too dark to see. Really billowing in there pretty quickly. I don't know if it's going to blow over or if it's going to hang around for a while. I was planning on cleaning the boat tonight, but we'll see. So I got a couple of free seats. I have no idea what I'm going to do with these. I was thinking praying mantis eyes, maybe, of like some sort of creature to stand up here outside my little booth. I don't know. A couple free older seats. These are kind of cool with the springs in them, and I think I may be able just to sleeve over a piece of leather on one of those and make it into almost like a Brooks style kind of saddle. These were all $1. I particularly like this one. I think it'll look really cool on the motorcycle, the motorized bicycle that I'm building. This is kind of a cool headlight here. And I have no idea what that is, some kind of pulley system. Generator. It's a generator of some description. And we're going to set this guy down before he blows over because the wind just picked up big time. Put him on the floor. Probably blow over anyway, I need to carry him in. This interesting little light here, I thought that was kind of cool. Toggle's really cool on it. Headlight. Yeah, now it's coming in. That's going to get ugly real quick. This was $1. These are kind of hard to come by these days. And then all of this stuff I got for free. Chain tensioner, and a bunch of skewers and piece parts, bike wrench, and yeah. So all this stuff right here, each of these were $1. So I paid $5 for all of that. Those were free. This was free, so hopefully I'll be able to make some pretty fun stuff out of that. So I'm going to carry all this stuff in. Show's over.